The morning sun sliced through the glass towers of Atlanta's business district, casting long shadows on the pavement. Marcus Langston stepped out of his sleek gray Tesla, the engine humming to a quiet stop. His charcoal suit hugged his frame, tailored, crisp, every stitch screaming authority. Polished loafers clicked against the asphalt as he adjusted his tie, a deep burgundy that caught the light like spilled wine. He was early, 7:45 a.m., for a board meeting at Langston Tech, the company he'd built from a garage startup to a $4 billion empire. Today was big, a merger pitch that could double their reach. He crossed the plaza toward the gleaming headquarters, a 30-story monument of steel and ambition. The air smelled of coffee and exhaust, the city waking up around him. A young woman in a navy blazer stood at the reception desk just inside the tinted glass doors. She barely looked up as Marcus approached, her fingers tapping lazily at a keyboard. "Name?" she asked, voice flat, eyes on the screen. "Marcus Langston," he said, tone steady, a faint smile tugging at his lips. She glanced at him, quick, dismissive, then back to her monitor. "You delivering something?" Her words hung there, casual but sharp. Marcus paused, the smile fading. "No," he said, "I'm here for the board meeting. I'm the CEO." Her head tilted, skepticism creasing her brow. "Right. Can you wait outside? We're not set up yet." She pointed to the doors, already turning away. Marcus stood still, the hum of the lobby's AC filling the silence. He checked his watch, 7:49 a.m. 51 minutes until his pitch. Then he exhaled, slow and deliberate, and stepped back outside. Something cold settled in his chest. The Atlanta air clung to Marcus Langston's skin, humid and thick, as he stood on the plaza outside his own building. His Tesla gleamed in the parking lot, a silent witness to the absurdity unfolding. The glass doors reflected his silhouette, tall, composed, the burgundy tie a slash of color against the gray suit. Inside, the receptionist shuffled papers, oblivious to the man she just banished. Marcus slipped his hands into his pockets, the leather of his watch strap cool against his wrist. It was 7:52 a.m. A delivery guy rolled past with a dolly stacked with boxes, nodding at Marcus like they shared some unspoken camaraderie. Marcus didn't nod back. His phone buzzed. Lila, his COO. "You in yet?" her text read. He typed back, "Not exactly," and left it at that. Across the street, a bus hissed to a stop, disgorging suits and briefcases. None of them were asked to wait outside. He glanced through the glass. The receptionist was on the phone now, laughing, twirling a pen. A white man in a rumpled blazer pushed through the doors, flashed a badge, and breezed past her with a wave. No questions, no hesitation. Marcus's jaw tightened, but his face stayed calm, years of practice smoothing the edges of his frustration. He'd built this company, signed every lease, handpicked the board. Yet here he was, locked out by a gatekeeper who didn't even know his name. The doors slid open again. A security guard, broad-shouldered with a clipped beard, stepped out. "You still here?" he asked, voice low, like Marcus was loitering. "I'm Marcus Langston," he replied evenly. "I own this place." The guard blinked, then chuckled. "Sure, man. Just wait a sec." Marcus didn't laugh. The clock ticked to 7:55. Marcus Langston stood under the awning of Langston Tech's headquarters, the morning sun now glinting off the building's name etched in steel above. His shadow stretched long and thin across the concrete, a dark echo of the man inside the suit. The security guard lingered nearby, walkie-talkie crackling with static, his eyes darting between Marcus and the doors. "They'll sort it out," he muttered, half to himself, then stepped back inside. Marcus didn't move. It was 7:58 a.m. His phone buzzed again, Lila, calling this time. He answered, voice low. "What's going on?" she asked, her tone sharp with concern. "They told me to wait outside," he said, watching a pigeon peck at crumbs near his feet. "Who did?" "Reception." Security too. A pause stretched over the line, heavy with understanding. Lila exhaled. I'm coming down. No, Marcus said, firm. Stay with the board. I'll handle it. He hung up before she could argue. Through the glass, he saw the receptionist glance his way, then whisper something to the guard. Their heads tilted together, a quick conspiracy of doubt. Marcus adjusted his cufflinks, the silver glinting like tiny blades. He'd faced this before, store clerks trailing him, cab drivers passing him by, but never here, not in the house he'd built. The insult wasn't new. The location was. A sleek black SUV pulled up, disgorging two board members, both white, both in pinstripes. They strode past Marcus without a glance, greeted by the guard with a nod and a "morning, sirs." The doors parted for them like a curtain. Marcus watched, his breath steady, but something snapped inside. Not loud, not wild, just a quiet fracture. He checked his watch, 8:01 a.m. Then he turned, walked to his Tesla, and slid inside. The Tesla's leather seat creaked as Marcus Langston settled in, the dashboard glowing softly in the dim morning light. Outside, the plaza buzzed, briefcases swinging, heels clicking, but inside the car, it was still, a cocoon of silence. He gripped the steering wheel, knuckles taut against the dark skin, and stared at the glass doors of Langston Tech. The receptionist was back at her keyboard, the guard pacing with his walkie-talkie. It was 8:04 a.m. His phone lit up, Lila again. He ignored it. Instead, he dialed his assistant, Jamal. Boss? Jamal's voice crackled through, alert despite the hour. Get me the lease agreement for the building, Marcus said, his tone flat, measured. Now? Now. A beat of silence, then typing. Sending it. What's up? You'll see. He ended the call, opened the file on his phone, and scrolled. Clause 17b, termination rights. His lips pressed into a thin line. Through the windshield, he saw another board member arrive, a woman in a sharp blazer, waved through with a smile. Marcus's chest tightened. He'd poured 15 years into this company, late nights, scrapped code, handshake deals in dive bars. Now, his own lobby spat him out like a stranger. The lease stared back at him, a legal lifeline. He could walk away. Not just from the meeting, but from all of it. He tapped out a text to Lila, delay the board. Emergency. Then he called his lawyer, Denise. Marcus, she answered, voice groggy. I need you to draft something, he said. Termination notice. The headquarters lease. Her pause was audible. You serious? Dead serious. He hung up, eyes on the building. It wasn't anger driving him, not yet. It was clarity. The clock hit 8:07 a.m. He shifted the car into drive. The Tesla purred through Atlanta streets, weaving past coffee carts and honking cabs, as Marcus Langston's mind churned faster than the engine. The city blurred outside, neon signs, brick facades, but his focus was razor-sharp. The lease termination wasn't a bluff, it was a guillotine. He'd signed that contract 5 years ago, ink still wet from a $50 million funding round. Now, it was a shackle he'd cut loose. It was 8:10 a.m. His phone rang, Lila, insistent. He answered on speaker. Marcus, what's emergency mean? The board's antsy. Her voice crackled with urgency. We're pulling out, he said, turning onto Peachtree Street. Out of the meeting? Out of the building. Silence swallowed the line. Then, you're not joking. No, he stopped at a light, watching a street vendor hawk newspapers. They locked me out, Lila. My own house. She exhaled, slow and jagged. What's the play? Shut it down. Move us. Today. Today? Her disbelief sharpened. We've got a merger pitch in 40 minutes. Then pitch it somewhere else, he said, voice like steel. Call Jamal, get the team on it. Find a new spot, hotel, co-working, whatever works. Lila didn't argue, she knew that tone. On it. Where are you? Driving. Thinking. He hung up, the light turning green, the building loomed in his rearview, a glass giant he'd once celebrated, now it was a monument to misjudgment, not his, theirs. He pictured the receptionist's smirk, the guard's chuckle. They didn't see the man who'd coded the first app in a basement, who'd pitched to VCs with a borrowed tie. But they'd see this. His phone pinged, Denise, drafts ready. Say the word. He didn't reply yet. The clock ticked to 8:13 a.m. The city rolled on, unaware of the storm brewing. Marcus Langston guided the Tesla into a quiet lot 3 blocks from headquarters, the engine's hum fading to silence. He leaned back, suit jacket creasing against the seat, and stared at the skyline. The Langston Tech building stabbed the clouds, a gleaming betrayal. His phone glowed, Jamal, lease files with Denise. Teams scrambling. You good? Marcus typed back, I'm fine. Get me a venue. Fast. It was 8:16 a.m. He stepped out, the air heavy with the scent of asphalt and magnolias. Across the street, a boutique hotel's neon sign flickered, the Indigo. He squinted at it, calculating. 60 board members, staff, investors, could it hold them? His phone buzzed again, Lila, teams on it. Boards confused but stalling. He didn't reply. Instead, he dialed Denise. Send the termination notice, he said. To the landlord? Yeah. Effective immediately. Marcus, that's a $2 million penalty. I'll pay it, he cut in. Just do it. She sighed. Done. He crossed to the Indigo, pushing through brass-trimmed doors. The lobby smelled of lavender and leather, a stark contrast to the sterile chill of his headquarters. A manager in a pinstriped vest approached, smiling. Welcome, sir. How can I assist? Marcus met his gaze. I need your biggest conference room. Now. For 60 people. The man blinked but nodded. We've got the Sapphire Suite. Available in 20 minutes. Book it, Marcus said, handing over his card. And coffee. Lots of it. Outside, his phone lit up, Jamal, teams rerouting. Boards en route to the Indigo. Marcus exhaled, the pieces locking into place. The headquarters was a dead shell now, he'd gutted it with one call. The clock hit 8:20 a.m. He straightened his tie. This wasn't retreat, it was amputation. The Indigo's Sapphire Suite hummed with hastily arranged chairs and the clink of coffee cups as Marcus Langston stood by the window, watching Atlanta pulse below. His phone vibrated, Denise, notice delivered. Landlord's freaking out. He didn't reply. The room filled fast, board members in wrinkled suits, staff clutching laptops, investors whispering in tight knots. It was 8:30 a.m. Lila burst in, breathless, her tablet glowing with updates. Marcus, the team's here. Board's pissed, half think this is a stunt. She paused, reading his face. It's not, is it? He shook his head. No stunt. We're done there. She nodded, rallying staff with a sharp clap. Let's move, people. Jamal slipped in next, handing Marcus a stack of merger docs. Indigo's solid were live in 10. Marcus gave a curt nod, his burgundy tie catching the light. Outside, the old headquarters unraveled. The receptionist stared at her screen, now flashing cancellation alerts, meetings, deliveries, leases. The guard paced the lobby, walkie-talkie silent. A landlord's rep stormed in, barking, "Where's Langston?" She shrugged. He left. The man's face reddened. He can't just. He did, she cut in, voice flat. Boxes of unopened mail piled up as staff trickled out. Confused, back at the Indigo, Marcus scanned the room. Eyes locked on him, some curious, some furious. He stepped to the front, no podium, just presence. "You're wondering why we're here," he said, voice low, steady. "This morning, I was told to wait outside my own building. By people I pay." A murmur rippled through. "I don't beg for respect. I build where it's given." He paused, letting it sink in. "We're shutting it down. All of it." The clock hit 8:40 a.m. Jaws dropped, but no one spoke. The Sapphire Suites air thickened as Marcus Langston's words hung like smoke. The investors shifted in their seats, coffee forgotten, while board members exchanged glances, shock, anger, awe. His suit jacket was off now, draped over a chair, sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms tensed with purpose. The clock glowed 8:45 a.m. on the wall's digital display. Lila stood by the door, arms crossed, her nod subtle but firm. Jamal adjusted the projector, flashing the merger deck onto a screen, but all eyes stayed on Marcus. "I didn't move us here to sulk," he said, pacing slow, deliberate. "I moved us because a company isn't a building, it's us. And I won't let anyone, not even our own staff, forget that." His voice cut through the hum of the AC, each word a hammer strike. A board member, gray-haired, pinstriped, cleared his throat. "Marcus, terminating the lease? That's millions down the drain." Marcus stopped, met his gaze. "It's my money. I'll eat it. But I won't eat disrespect." The man leaned back, silenced. Another voice piped up, an investor, younger, fidgeting with a pen. "What about the merger? We're mid-pitch." Marcus nodded to Jamal. The screen flickered to life. "We pitch here. Now. Same stakes, new ground." The room settled, tension morphing into focus. Outside, the old headquarters spiraled deeper into chaos, phones ringing unanswered, a janitor sweeping an empty lobby. The landlord's rep paced, shouting into a headset, "He can't do this." But Marcus already had. Back in the Indigo, he faced the group. "I built this from nothing. I don't need their permission to keep it alive." A slow clap started, Lila, then spread. The clock ticked to 8:50 a.m. They weren't just listening now. They were with him. The Sapphire Suite buzzed as Marcus Langston stepped back, the merger deck now rolling on the screen behind him. Investors scribbled notes, board members leaned forward, the air electric with purpose. His rolled-up sleeves and steady gaze held the room tighter than any podium could. The clock hit 8:55 a.m., and the pitch flowed, numbers sharp, vision sharper. No one mentioned the old building. It was a ghost already fading. Outside the Indigo, Atlanta churned on, traffic snarled, a street preacher's voice drifted through the haze. Inside, Lila whispered updates to Jamal, socials lighting up, Langston pulls plug on HQ. "People saw you leave." Marcus caught her eye, nodded once. He didn't care about the chatter, not yet. His phone buzzed, "Denise, landlord's threatening legal. Wants to talk." He typed back, "Let him sue. We're out." Across town, the old headquarters stood hollow. The receptionist clocked out early, muttering, he wasn't kidding. The guard stared at empty parking spaces, shaking his head. A maintenance crew hauled out trash bins, the Langston Tech logo peeling off a wall like shed skin. The landlord's rep slumped in a chair, phone dead in his hand. Her phone buzzed, a Crescent memo, forwarded by a friend, leadership transition and hiring overhaul. Marcus's name topped it, his CEO role now public. Kendall and Voss were gone, the analytics division under review. Lila smiled faintly. He hadn't just cleared a path for her, he'd exposed a system that failed others too. Across town, Crescent's HR floor was chaos. Staff huddled, parsing the memo, third-party auditors arriving, hiring protocols rewritten. "It's because of that 9 a.m. interview," one whispered, unaware Lila's name was already legend among the board. Carla, now interim analytics head, pushed for diversity metrics, citing Lila's vision as a model. Marcus stood in his office, skyline dark beyond the glass. He'd spent the day fielding calls, board members rattled, partners curious. His acquisition wasn't just a buyout, it was a reckoning. He texted Lila, "Elevate's gonna shake them up." "Proud?" She replied, "We're just starting." Lila sipped chamomile tea, her laptop open to a domain purchase, elevateanalytics.com. She wasn't chasing Crescent's offer, she was building something bigger, for those dismissed like her. Her phone lit up again, a colleague's email, "Heard you're launching." "I'm in." The city outside hummed, its rhythm hers. At Crescent, a new memo drafted, "Equity in Action." Marcus signed it, knowing Lila's impact stretched beyond one morning. She'd walked out, but her presence was rewriting the rules, one door at a time. Lila stood on her porch, the Charlotte dawn painting the sky gold. Her notebook, now thick with Elevate Analytics plans, sat beside a coffee mug. She'd signed 2 clients yesterday, both drawn to her mission, data that empowered, not erased. Her scarf, draped over her shoulder, felt like armor. The interview was a distant memory, fuel for her fire. Her phone buzzed, a Crescent press release, new CEO Marcus Reed announces inclusive hiring reform. It detailed the audit, diversity training, and a scholarship fund for underrepresented tech talent. Lila's name wasn't mentioned, but her shadow loomed. She smiled, proud of Marcus, prouder of herself. At Crescent, the lobby felt warmer. The new receptionist greeted candidates with respect, the old one's desk empty. Carla led a meeting, pitching Lila-inspired metrics to the board. "We missed talent like hers," she said. "No more." The room nodded, chastened, as Elevate's website trended online. Marcus joined Lila on the porch, his tie loosened. "They're scrambling," he said, sipping her coffee. "Your walkout woke them up." She laughed softly. "They woke me up." Elevate wasn't just a firm, it was a statement. No one defines your worth. Her first pitch was tomorrow, her voice ready. He handed her an envelope, Carla's apology letter, board signed. Lila set it aside. "Words don't rebuild trust," she said. Marcus nodded. "But you're rebuilding the game." Her phone pinged, a third client, inspired by Elevate's mission. The skyline glowed, a canvas for her next move. Lila wasn't loud, didn't post her victory. She built, quietly, fiercely. If her story moves you, share it. Someone's being overlooked now, their worth unseen. Subscribe for more truths that cut through, stories of strength that remind us, when you know your value, no room can dim your light. Like, share, and subscribe if Lila's story moves you. Someone's being overlooked, their worth unseen. Spread this truth to empower those dismissed to rise and shine.